Men with low self-esteem always turn a blind eye to red flags. Remember, you reap what you sow. The red flags you ignore at the beginning will always become the deal breakers in the end. And for some of you, learning the lesson can only be done the hard way. However, I don't wish that on anyone. For those of you who are intelligent, I have a case study to share with all of you today so that you can learn from the mistakes that this man made to avoid this ever happening to you. Prevention is better than cure. Throughout this case study, you are going to see how this perfectly illustrates what happens when a man has low self-esteem. This is what led this guy to waste 3 years of his life with a woman who not only didn't really feel the same way back, but who also had red flags, as he puts it. With that said, let's get right into it. Now, he did request that I keep his identity private, so I will refer to him as Jimmy. So Jimmy says, "Hi Christian, just recently saw some of your videos, and I have to say, you're an amazing guy and very good at helping those with self-esteem problems that breakups cause to men. Thank you for your kind words. I wanted to tell you my story, which happened 4 months ago." So this is some background on his situation. "I was in a relationship with a girl for 3 years. We started chatting on Facebook a little before the quarantine started, and of course the quarantine delayed our meetup for about 4 months. So long story short, we chatted for 5 months before we dated. In the meantime, we were a great match, and she said this multiple times, that I was a match from heaven. She liked me dearly and loved spending time with me." Now, this is what he claims, right? But as we go through his email, we're going to see if that's really true. "We were in a relationship for 3 years, and I was always calm, collected, but a little complacent because of my calm nature. Complacency comes from weakness, not from strength. As a man, if you have a compelling goal, your life's work, your career, your business, the foundation is righteous, you're taking good care of your health, that's gonna raise the bar for other areas of your life. When your standards increase in terms of your health or your wealth, so does your relationship. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you got complacent in your relationship, this tells me you're getting complacent in other areas too, and then it's just a domino effect. Your foundation isn't that strong because you have low self-esteem, and that's where it's all coming from. How you start is how you finish. So if you're getting complacent in your relationship, that tells me you don't understand relationships at all, because you'd be able to pinpoint where you're going wrong or what it is that she's doing that's causing you to respond that way. However, there are definitely other things in your life that are affecting the way you're showing up too. He says, "She had a lot of red flags, but I felt like I could help her deal with the problems." So now you're getting into la land, convincing yourself that you can make it work with a woman that's not suitable for a relationship. If she is not willing to turn from her sin or heal from her trauma, and doesn't develop any self-awareness, doesn't build a righteous foundation, she's not ready for marriage. You can gently guide and lead her, but if there is no change, you have to walk away. But here you are thinking you can make it work with a damaged woman, like a white knight. So if you're attracted to red flags, then you most likely have some too. Because if you truly had stronger principles, you would be repelled at the sight of a red flag. You'd actually be slowing down, taking your foot off the gas pedal and asking yourself, what is wrong with this woman? How should I proceed? Because you're making a decision here from your emotion, from your feelings, not from principles. That's why it says in the Bible in Jeremiah 17 verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and it's wicked. Who can know it? Your feelings and your emotions, if they're not rooted in righteousness, in truth, it's your lust, it's your fear, it's your worry, your doubt, your stress, which guides you. That doesn't bring you any love or peace. And you're not going to be bringing that to anyone else, truly. And that's what you're doing here. You're making a decision based on your emotions. Your standards are coming from your emotional state, not from truth. She had a lot of red flags, but I felt like I could help her. You're not her nanny. She's not your daughter. She's a stranger that you've just met. You're not responsible for her. No, she's not your wife. But you are responsible for the quality of woman you choose. This is in your hands here. But the fact that your tunnel vision, when you see a red flag, tells me that you have problems. I've seen a lot of men do this over the years, and there is no exception. The pattern is always the same. This is not going to work out. I recommend you pick up a Bible, Jimmy, and get yourself right with God. He said, I really cared for her. She even said that she had hallucinations in the past and that she had no friends at all because all her friends in the past betrayed her trust. So I felt really bad for her, and I've been nothing but supportive, caring, and a calm-centered man where she could feel like a real female around me. Sounds like you've painted a nice, beautiful, one-sided story where you've projected all of your feelings onto her instead of looking at reality. People treat you how they feel about you. Actions always speak louder than words. Guys that have low self-esteem always love to project how they feel onto the woman. And they convince themselves, if I really like her, eventually she'll like me back. This woman here has got problems. She mentioned she has hallucinations. So either she's been dabbling with drugs in the past, or she has some type of psychotic disorder, which is a severe mental illness, right? And she's got no friends. Now, there are no specifications from the age here, but from your pictures, I'd say your late 20s, 30s, more or less. So that's probably the age range you're in. She's not a little girl anymore. She's probably the same age group as you. Now, with that said, you have to ask yourself, why does she have no female connections? We're all social beings. And of course, the higher standards you have, the closer circle you have, and the more selective you are of who you allow in. But regardless, genuine people will always have a track record of maintaining some form of human connection that's long-lasting. Whether it's in 1, 2 friends that are good or honorable, have a decent reputation. It could be 1 or 2 siblings, someone close to them in their family or friends. If no one wants anything to do with her, well, she might just be the common denominator, right? Because yes, we've all had bad people betray us over the years, 1, 2, 3 of them. But after that, you learn the lesson and you're more selective of who you let in. You raise the bar. So if she's claiming that all of her friends have betrayed her trust, that she's not really giving you any details. And she's actively out there trying to make friends, but no one wants anything to do with her. Sounds like she's the problem, mate. That's what I'm seeing here. Because the pattern's played out many times before. He said, so I felt really bad for her, right? Is that how you want a relationship to start? Because you feel bad for someone, like they're a lost puppy? You want to feel good for someone. You want to feel comfortable and calm in their presence. Not like you have to come in and sort out their life. Imagine telling your kids in the future, how did you meet mum? Well, I felt bad for her. What is this, the victim awards? Come on, man. Please, wake up. She said that I exceeded what she thought her dream husband will be, and this is how much she loved me. Like she couldn't even imagine a person like me, and was grateful that I was hers. Yeah, so she's saying with her words that she wants you to be like her future husband, yet you've been together for 3 years and you've not been married. You'd think a year and a half, 2 years, a woman that's serious for you, she'd be bringing it up because she's not there to waste her time. Her foundation is solid. Same thing for you, right? Ask yourself, why the words and actions don't match? It's obvious that she doesn't really feel that. She's just projecting how she felt in that moment at the beginning, in the early stages, because it was new, fresh, and since she has a lot of issues, there's a very high likelihood that she was prone to limerence, right? Which is what I'm seeing. So she's so grateful to have you, which is what he says. She could never imagine a person like me and was so grateful that I was her. And then in the next statement, but we had arguments sometimes and she got mad and didn't talk to me for 2 to 3 weeks. Isn't that mature? She loves you so much and is so grateful for you that she doesn't talk to you for 2 to 3 weeks. But I waited until she calmed down and reached out to me. That is good. However, unless you've had a seriously abusive argument, it shouldn't really take 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe a few hours, maybe a day, and then you get to the root cause and this does not happen again. But if you're having serious arguments, that tells me that you're not compatible in terms of your values. Okay? She either set and or settled for you physically, so she doesn't really find you that attractive, so she's not careful of how she treats you. Number 3, she's severely emotionally immature or damaged, so she does not know how to communicate healthily. And number 4, since you're tolerating it, I'd say you have some of the same qualities there too. Because like does attract like. If this really bothered you, you'd walk away after a while. Because this just doesn't add up. She's telling you with her words how much she loves you, and with her actions, she's treating you like a second-class citizen. So he said, I always waited until she calmed down and reached out to me, and I never texted her first in these situations. So about 6 months ago, went on vacation, we had a great time. But the best day ever, these were the best days we ever had as a couple, and then in the next 3 weeks we couldn't meet up because I was sick, then she got sick. Then after her fluid passed, she went on vacation with her family. So we took a little time for about a week. When she came back, she texted me that I was out with my friends, then she got mad. We couldn't talk the next moment, so she left the chat. I told her to wait, but she didn't, so I told her, all right, go on. So she's getting upset that you're spending time with your friends. This woman doesn't sound very mature. The next day she didn't talk to me, so I texted her because it was 3 weeks that we didn't see each other. And she said, and I said, don't you care? Yeah, that's very masculine. And she replied that if I didn't care, she didn't care as well. So you have a grown woman here playing mind games with you. You know she dealt with hallucinations, and it's clearly her who's pushed everybody away in her life. And there's most likely more red flags that you've not even covered here, but you don't need to because it's evident from what you've stated thus far, but it is there. You didn't go into her childhood or your past or hers. You can tell a lot from her actions. But you had low self-esteem, and that was your foundation. And this is exactly how it's playing out with her. Do you want to marry a woman like this? She tells you she wants to be, she tells you that you exceed the expectations of who she thought her future husband would be. And then at the same time, she's ghosting you for weeks at a time, doesn't really text you. She plays mind games, she's gaslighting you. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This isn't genuine. This is a woman that's severely damaged. She's pushed everybody away in her life. So anyways, you text her saying that, don't you care about me? She replied that I don't care, that if you don't care, she doesn't care as well. And then you tell her that it's your fault. How is it your fault? She was busy. She went to see her family. You were out with your friends. She got mad because you were busy with your friends. You told her to wait for you and she just ghosted you. Now you're saying it's your fault? Stand up for your values, man, or else you just don't have any. Your only mistake here is now you're acting like a cuck. You're just going to see that any respect she had left is just going to evaporate for you. But regardless, in this case, it doesn't really matter because the woman is damaged. So she was never going to be really capable of respecting you because she's settled for you. So, and you're telling me this is what happened in the last 6 months of your relationship. What were you doing those 3 years? Why did it never lead to an engagement or marriage? Why was she never bringing up these topics? There's no mention here of her telling you how much she loves you, how much she supports you or admires you, how much intimacy or closeness you had. Kind of seems like you're projecting everything. And then you go here and apologize. She's kind of like beat you into a little lapdog. So I told her that it's my fault that we're not really talking, even though she messed up. Yeah, so this tells me that you're afraid to lose her. Because you're insecure, you're afraid that if you stand up for yourself and call her out on her bad behavior, then she's going to leave. But this is going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you're more afraid to lose her than lose your integrity. Because you don't have any integrity, now you're going to be forced to start from zero and build yourself up again as a man. So she went on vacation again that week, but we were not talking to each other. Yeah, she's going on a nice little girls' trips, right? After she came back after 3 weeks, I texted her that we need to talk, and I got mad and lost my temper that night. So I was arguing like a woman, but it was the first time I acted like that in 3 years. So you're telling me that you're so calm and collected before, and then you start interacting with her like a woman. That's not adding up, mate. I even bought her a necklace, as I promised her some months ago. So she's treating you like crap, and you reward her bad behavior by giving her a gift. Please treating me like crap, Your Highness, is basically what you're communicating. She's not spending time with you. She's going on trips without you. She's not communicating clearly. She's emasculating you in a passive way. And you go and plan to buy her a gift. So, what are you dealing with, a gold digger here? Are you in a transactional relationship? You tell me, Jimmy. Because this is not looking good, mate. Eventually we met up and had a great time the next night, and I thought that we were all good. Well, you don't want to assume. See, this is what happens. You've got low self-esteem and you're projecting everything from how you feel. Oh, I thought it was good. I felt things were great. I really liked her. You're holding on to something good she said 3 years ago. You're not looking at how she's treating you now. Yeah, I thought it was all good. The next night, I was talking about engagement, and we were about to get engaged after 1 month. Why would you propose to her when she's treating you like this? Not to mention, you're the one who's bringing this up because you said that I was talking about engagement. There's no mention that she was bringing it up. You see, when a woman is really bonded with you and she loves you and she truly wants to spend her life with you, after 6 months, a year and a half, if you were doing everything right as a man and she didn't have any issues, she's a godly woman, she'd be bringing it up herself. Hey Jimmy, when are we going to get engaged? I want to spend my life with you. I want to be your wife. Women are very clear with you when they feel comfortable and their feelings are developed. So if you spend that much time together but she's not bringing that up, then she's not feeling it. And if you doing everything right as a man, which in this case you're not, and of course she has red flags, so she's messed up, there was no way she was ever going to bring this up. She's kind of settled for you and is sailing along with the relationship to see where it goes. Because it's just better than being alone. And it's what I'm seeing this woman do. Wasting your time, but you're so blinded by your lust and insecurities that you're just staying with her to also see where it goes. Then you convince yourself that, yeah, I'm gonna propose to her. Okay. Then about 1 month later, she told me that she had some problems and needs space from me. Yeah, she loves you so much. She's so happy that you proposed to her that she needs space and time away from you. She complained that she felt unloved and unwanted from me because every time we argued, even though she always started it, I waited for her to reach out and didn't text. So more immature mind games. She treats you like crap, blows up emotionally, leaves the conversation. You actually wait for her, which is the one good thing you did do. And now she's complaining that you're not running after her after she pulls away. Doesn't sound like this woman's very healthy. And there's a reason why she had no friends. Look at the track record. Look at her history. Everybody's gone from her life. Nobody wants to be around her. You've tried to bond with her over 3 years and she keeps pulling away. She's damaged, and it's not your job to fix her. But you've invested your emotions and convinced yourself that it is your job. You reap what you sow. But ultimately, you knew exactly what you were getting into. From what you said, she had no friends, for the reasons she stated, and she had issues with hallucinations, probably more issues. And look at her communication. Mind games, pulling back, disappearing, expecting you to react a certain way when she's treating you terribly. You want to marry a woman like that? You want to propose to her? That's not very smart. So he said, I got mad at her and told her to take your space, and if you want to come back, come. But if not, I will not sit around and wait for you. Now you're talking. Now you're getting your balls back. Because now you've started to you've seen the pattern enough times in her trash behavior. And now you've started to realize that it's not really you, it's her. Good. You learned the hard way now. But the next week, I was feeling bad that she felt unwanted. So I called her. So now you're contradicting your word. So your balls started growing back and now they've retracted all the way right back into your stomach. What are you doing? You're not being congruent with your statement. You said, take your space. If you want to come back, come back. If not, I will not sit around and wait for you. And then you go and reach out to her. The ball is in her court. It's her duty to reach out to you. So what, you feeling unwanted? So you call her. Anyways, she told me to message her as she's feeling very emotional and can't talk. You didn't give her space. So then I messaged her and said that if she ever felt used from me or unwanted, and she said never. So I was confused. You're not being very patient here. I mean, you should have taken this time to start detaching yourself, to really walk away from her, because this woman is not right for you. But instead, you get impatient and you convince yourself that by giving her a little bit of space and then reaching out to her again, forcing yourself onto her, she's suddenly going to feel the same way back and treat you better after all these years, even though she's done no work on herself. Nothing's changed with her. Nothing has. Why would you even need to tell her to ask, if you ever felt used or unwanted, let me know? If you know through your actions that you've never done that to her, you shouldn't even need to bring that up. But now you're trying to baby someone that's damaged emotionally. So of course you're going to feel confused. Because you're making emotional decisions that come from fear and stress and worry, which brings about more fear, stress, and worry. It's not bringing you any peace, any tranquility, any clarity, is it? I told her that I wanted to apologize if she felt that way. What is wrong with you? You're going to apologize for how she feels when she's the one treating you badly? She should be the one apologizing to you, damn it. Grow a pair of balls. I told her that I wanted to apologize if she felt that way, but I never intended to make her feel like that. Yeah, I think she knows, but she's just someone that's damaged, so she can't even recognize or appreciate all of the times you were really calm and actually waited for her, because she's messed up. She doesn't have any self-awareness, doesn't know what's going on. It's evident by the lifestyle she's led up until that point that you met her. She was like that way when you came into her life. She's been like that when she's with you. She'll continue on like that when you're gone. Unless she gets right with God and gets help, nothing's going to change. Find a different woman that treats you well. That's what you need to do. So you basically say that you want to apologize because you never intended to hurt her. Then she told me that it was over and her feelings were gone. She just sees me as a friend. I was shocked. But I politely refused her friend request, and I told her that I will never see her as a friend and I don't want this breakup. But if she feels like it, I will respect her decision. You don't respect the decision. You don't need to even tell her that. Listen, I'm not going to be your friend. Great, you lost feelings for me, then I'm going to start to lose them too. Goodbye, good riddance. And you walk away without any bitterness, without any hatred. You forgive and you move on. Take the lessons you learn and don't choose a woman like that again. Because you don't really respect the decision, you're just saying that to be nice and sweet. But you're not really being nice because you're not standing for any of your principles. You're just responding to how she feels and you're too afraid to rock the boat. She promised me to never remove a ring that I bought for her on her birthday. She actually didn't remove it even after 4 months. Why does that even matter? You think she's going to really keep a ring on her finger from a guy who was a guy who she considers to be a friend, which is you? She's going to throw that ring away eventually. Okay? She's just saying that to placate to you. And the fact that you even care about that is beyond needy. She told you her feelings are done for her, so it's done. He says, after 3 years of not doing any single thing to harm her, in fact, helping her deal with her issues and even telling her that I healed her from herself, she wouldn't even pick up the phone to talk to me. I was devastated. You reap what you sow. You knew she had red flags, and now you've learnt the lesson the hard way. Walk away. You stayed long past your expiration date. You're taking care of someone that's damaged. They couldn't appreciate you. 2 hours after the breakup, she followed another guy on Instagram. And I only checked for these things the last month because I never got jealous or something, because I was very confident in myself. Yeah, that's right. You're so confident in yourself that you text her back after you say you'll give her space. In other words, you keep reaching out. You propose to her when she's treating you like crap. You tell her to never take her ring off, even though she's done with you. That's not very confident. You don't need to fake it. There's no shame in being weak, but there is in staying weak. And if you recognize that right now you're emotionally down in the dumps, you just pick yourself up, move forward soon. Because right now your face is flat in the mud. You need to just get up. That's all it is. But don't sit here and tell me that you're very confident in yourself. She texted me, and I'm saying this because I'm challenging you to step up, because I want to see you turn your life around and have a much better woman in your life. But that's not going to happen unless you become a righteous man. He says, she texted me 5 weeks after the breakup and told me to unsave any of the pictures we had on Snapchat. So I unsaved it and we talked for a bit. I asked her if she can come over and hang out, and she replied with no. So I laughed it off and told her I had to go. Yeah, you're faking it. Ha ha ha, it doesn't bother me. Why are you asking her to come and see you? You saw her following some other guy on Instagram. She doesn't feel anything for you. It's been you vomiting your emotions on her. It's not mutual. She didn't bring up the engagement. She never brought up being serious, being married with you. Really? You're the one that initiated that. The next day she came in my city, posted stories, but I didn't go to see her. He says, I don't go in a room where I am unwanted unless she made it clear I will not go after her like a little dog. But you've done that many times. And now you've ran back to her after she mistreats you. And now you're stalking her on her social media, but the relationship's been done for a few weeks. So what? The next day she started sharing some sad posts, but I didn't text her. If anyone is going to reach out, it's her. As long as she messed it up, even though I still wanted her, I will never be in a relationship where I have to beg to be loved. Well, let's hope that you uphold that value moving forward. The next day she started to like my job posts and watching my stories the first minute after I share. But the biggest thing she posted on her Snapchat is the place where we always met to hang out. I still didn't reply because it's her job to fix the issue and not mine. No, there's no job here. You don't go back and heat up leftovers. If this is done, walk away. You were never right for each other. Okay, you're insecure and she's got red flags. You probably have more issues, and so does she, that you didn't cover here, that you don't really need to. But that's what you need to sort out. Why do you want to go back to her? She never wanted to marry you. She's with some other guy. Move on. That should give you enough closure. Look at the man in the mirror. What can you do moving forward? You saw red flags at the beginning, but you thought it's some type of challenge that you need to go through. If there is a roadblock that says don't go forward, the bridge is burnt down, and you go through, you're gonna fall through and die, or have a serious accident. That's there for a warning. Red flag is the same way. Do not proceed. Danger ahead. It's not a challenge. Don't huff and puff with your ego and move forward. Turn back the way you can. Go to where the path is safe. Choose a woman who doesn't have red flags. He says, the real thing is that I was thinking that she really misses me and regrets the breakup. When out of nowhere she unfriended me on social media, but didn't remove the follow in one of my accounts so I could still see her Instagram posts. If she really missed and regretted leaving you, she would have contacted you, she would have apologized, she would have asked to meet you, she would have begged you back, she would have given you a justifiable reason as to what really was going wrong with her, the work she did on herself. Stop projecting your own feelings onto her. If she really missed you, her actions would show that. Her actions show you she doesn't care, and now she's removing you by blocking you and unfriending you on everything. But the guy that she followed on Instagram is even on her Facebook, and you still care because you're still looking. He said, I think that she lined up that guy to break up with me and monkey branch to him. Do you think or do you know? Where's the evidence? Regardless, it doesn't matter. Now he's her problem. He's going to go through the same thing you did. Good riddance to them. Let them have each other. He said, it is hard and it stings as I still miss her, but even if she comes back, I will never accept it as it was too messed up to do me like that. Even she said that I was a blessing in her life and she's grateful to God that she sent me in her life to heal her and she loved me more than anything. Yeah, she loved you so much that she would play little mind games, pull away, right? Treat you badly, and then distance herself completely. And when she eventually had the courage to leave you, she did. That's how much she loves you. You think that's love. This woman settled for you. And even though she had red flags, she realized, I'm not going to waste any more time with this guy. When it should have been you to walk away in the early stages, the first few weeks, first few months. This should not have gone on for 3 years. You need to fill in your knowledge gap regarding relationships. My link is in the description. Go to my website, book a call. I think Relationship Mastery is for you. You go through that program, you'll be sorted. That's your choice. He said I had been monkey branched, and she didn't even hang up the phone to properly break up with me. She was breadcrumbing me to chase her so she can feel that I'm always her option. I know that I didn't deserve any of this. I didn't. Well, you chose to be with her, and you stayed with her when the red flags became more and more red. Karma works in mysterious ways, he says. So I know that she will regret and she will come back, but there will be nothing left to come. Now you're grasping at straws, okay? Don't get into that whole karma stuff, right? She'll reap what she sows, right? Unless she repents and turns from her ways. But it's none of your business. You should be looking at your life and asking yourself, what caused you to stay with a woman like that? Fix yourself first before you find a woman. Thinking that she's going to come back, you said she will regret and come back. I don't really think so. And let's say even if she did, there should be no way for her to contact you anymore. He said, I just wanted to share this story with you so I can know if I'm just tripping around. Yes, you're wasting your time. Should have never been with her from the beginning. But you can't change the past, but you can learn from it. Do not let this happen to you again. He said, I also need to have some advice on how to deal with the pain of the betrayal that I'm feeling at the moment. Delete her social media. Block her social media. Stop stalking her and this other guy. Get healthier. Go to the gym. Your nutrition, your training. I don't know what you're doing with your life, but your career or business or your hobbies, find something you're passionate about. Work towards something bigger than yourself so you can be of service to humanity. You can help those around you through your product or service or work. That's what you need to be doing as a man. Go out there and do something. Okay? Be around friends and family, those that love you. Now that you feel down in the dumps, you need people, a brotherhood, men around you that will pick you up, dust you off, make you feel loved again. Okay? You can't do it alone. You do need good people in your corner. I would focus on that too. Get right with God. Pick up a Bible. Without righteousness, you do not have a foundation that's going to last. Go through my content. Go through my book. It's your choice. He says, anyway, I want to tell you that you're doing a great job and I hope you have a lot of success in the future, because I don't really listen to these relationship coaches except Corey Wayne. But as long as I can see that you're always spot on, you're doing a great job. And it's very kind of you. So all in all, I would say, Jimmy, you are a sweet guy, right? But you just let your insecurities make the decisions for you. Fill in your knowledge gap, get your standards right, and everything else will fall into place. With that said, this has been today's case study. Hope you've all learned from that. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All the links are down in the description. And with that said, hope you will have a wonderful day. God bless all of you and your families. I'll see you all in the next one.